That's me sitting down. My old bones. Let me get a couple of tweets out to make sure everything's working properly. It's looking pretty good. Boom. Discord. Oh, there's loads of people I need to do emails to. Okay, yeah. Give the winners their prizes, which I still haven't done. Oh, Easter weekend, why are you like this? Twitter. Got my cup of tea already. Boom. Hi. How's it? Oh, wait. I'm not ready. I'm almost ready. Not ready. No, I'm not ready. Almost. If you'd like to ask a question during the stream, question in brackets, and we'll get to those in a bit. We'll sort of answer them throughout. I'm typically quite far behind in chat. Right. I'm ready. I'm here. Hi. Who says I wasn't ready before? Hey. Let's get rid of this Twitter. Yeah, hi. Hope everyone's doing well. Thank you very much, Alfred, for the sub. Very much appreciated, sir. You star. Hope you are doing well. Hope everyone watching is doing well. Been a bit sporadic content-wise, even though 3.13 has gone to first wave PTU, because it is bank holiday weekend. I'm doing some stuff with the family. Zin's having a bit more time off-ish. So, just for people that don't know, Zin works for me full-time. However, there's no specific proper hours, really, that she works, because of the nature of we respond to the content that comes out from Cloud Imperium and Star Citizen. Well, there's some set hours-ish. We try and keep sort of like between 11 AM to 6 PM-ish, Monday to Friday sort of thing, at UTC time, and then as and when on the weekend, and as and when other content comes out as well. But it's pretty malleable. So 3.13's out, and it's got a reasonable amount of content we need to cover, and I don't really want to get more than 2 to 3 videos out a day, and we should be able to get that. But on Monday onwards, you'll start to see the 3.13 gameplay content rollout, and a bit more of a deep dive into its components and stuff. Over today and tomorrow, you'll see some new stuff. You'll see a couple of things mentioned and looked at. But nothing super deep, just because we haven't had time to play the current first wave PTU. That's what it is. And obviously we don't want to have any content skewed by the Evocati build, because obviously those Evocati builds are NDA'd. I hope lots of you have been able to play in 3.13 already. Pretty good build from what I can see, from what I've been able to do. So some of the good stuff in it, and we'll have a look at the build in a minute. Some of the good stuff in it is cargo seems to be relatively fixed as an actual gameplay loop. You can go cargo holding again, eh? That's good, right? That's sort of important that they unbreak that. And there's a little bit more gameplay with the reputation system, sort of adding to lots of gameplay loops, but also caves, actual combat missions in caves, and then lots of little things as well, like trolleys. They're cool, but do they have much point yet? They probably will in the future. Hull degradation is pretty. The ship-to-ship docking with the Constellation is actually cool and works. It is a little janky. We've got the Cyclone MT, you've got the ROC DS, which is sort of like a secret release. And I'm not sure who's got access to it. I'm not sure if it's all Evocati or content creators or both or just some. I've got access to it. We'll have a look at that in a minute. Have a bit of a talk about that. I don't see much point in the ROC DS. However, that could evolve in the future if they go, well, actually, the ROC DS can do other things. What other things might it be able to do? Well, maybe the ROC DS will be able to mine larger nodes in the future. Do you think Cloud Imperium will allow us to build homesteads inside sinkholes? I don't know. I don't think they know either yet. The base building mechanics probably will allow you to, in the future, in some areas, take control or claim the land of a sinkhole, or otherwise build a base near a sinkhole. And there may be some things you can build around or in sinkholes or in caves in the future, but they have not talked about the specifics of that beyond you will be able to exploit the resources on your land, whether that's because you're in UE territory and it's claimed as your land, or whether it's in the wild west of space where you don't land claim, but you need to protect your territory. What should backers do if they're upset with the direction of PvP for Star Citizen? Heavy Bob, good question. We've talked about it a few times on the channel. I'm pretty pro PvP, but I'm also wanting some areas to be almost entirely safe, and even if they're not safe, they should favour the person that's being PvP'd if they were not effectively consensual. I mean, it's a PvP game. There's PvP in Star Citizen, and I think largely it will be PvE.
hugely be PvE versus PvP, but there's certainly going to be PvP, and I want that in game to help drive content. You need to just get involved in the discussion by talking to content creators, talking to CIG, putting your point forward on forums in a concise, not necessarily concise, but in a non-aggressive, non-threatening way, not rude, civil way. I think's the thing, and feel free to make threads and talk about it, get involved with other people's questions, talk when other people are discussing it, but do it in a civil way that is literally questioning some bits, and don't try and sort of like be dismissive of other people's comments or aggressive about them. Do you know what I mean? I think it's fair enough that some people don't like the direction of PvP, and some people love it, and some people hate it, and some people don't like certain mechanics and things, but you need to be able to talk about that and make your point understood, and then understand there's probably going to be a reasonable amount of compromise, and you're not going to get what you want. And just because you think an idea is stupid or someone else's opinion is stupid doesn't mean that it necessarily is. It means that you don't understand it, and you might not be able to see things through their eyes, they might not be able to see things through yours, vice versa. So compromise and being reasonable. Not always compromise. Sometimes people are objectively wrong, but I won't actively go and be mean to people. Yeah, get involved with the conversation and do it in a civil way. Otherwise, you're just damaging your point of view, or at least people's understanding of your point of view. How am I doing? How's my dad doing? My dad's doing great. He had a super scan recently, and his lung cancer and his brain cancer is severely diminished with his targeted therapy that he's on. They were like, it's good news. So I think there's more options open to him. The issue is with my father is that he's not going to want any surgery, and he's not going to want anything invasive at all. And he'd rather live with it and have it managed for a good few years rather than have anything too extreme. And that's his choice. I'm going to back him and love him whatever. I this time last year, or a little bit before this, yeah, around this time last year, in my eyes, he was last legs. Yeah. And it's sort of a miracle happened, so I'm embracing what I see as a miracle, and just going along with it. And any time I get with my dad and him being better than he's been in years, actually at the moment, is great. So. Do you think the merchantman will be able to do deep space activities considering its features? And we'll certainly be able to be a long-range ship. So long-range trade, long-range getting those items, long-range sort of courier. Yeah, lots of stuff like that. Thank you very much, White Wolf. Oh, no. The Dutsky. Thank you very much for giving a load of subs away to people. Neoxen. Mitox, and White Wolf, you've all been forcibly subscribed to my channel. Oh, the Dutsky. I don't know how to say your name. Tusutsky. Thank you very much. The Dutsky? Is that how we say your name? I don't know. I'm the worst. I'm so sorry. I very much appreciate the big sub bomb. Thank you. I never know how to feel about people supporting the channel in such a way that I don't understand. It's because I'm such a skinflint and a tight ass myself. How do you feel about Port Olisar? Do you think this will just cause PvPers to camp in other zones, and it will keep spiraling? So there's going to be changes and movements with Cloud Imperium and the way that they do PvP, and the way they respond in the short term. In the future, game systems will handle everything, and like the Stanton system might be quite hard to get into if you're a PvPer. Or at least an active PvP pirate PvPer. And Pyro might be very easy for you to exist in and live in, but like places like Terra or Sol, they will be almost impossible for a PvPer that's a criminal PvPer to exist in. Do you see what I mean? So Cloud Imperium at the moment are sort of like doing balances and makeshift or bodge jobs, trying to get PvP into a better place in the short term. Thank you very much, Jen Desperado, for the raid. Very much appreciated, sir. Legend. Thank you, thank you. So yeah, at the moment it's bodge jobs. How do I feel about them moving PvPers out of certain zones and restricting other areas and things like that? Yeah, it just moves people around. PvPers want some gameplay, and if you don't restrict what they can do, but also give them something at the same time, then it just moves them. They just move around doing PvP type stuff. I think a lot of PvPers aren't as mean-spirited and griefy as other people think. So. This future, not to be impatient, but how long till it happens? Sorry, I don't know what you mean. Do you think we could see Pyro this year to help implement better PvP? I mean, it's very unlikely we'll see Pyro by the end of the year. It is possible, but it would have to be like a surprise. We have got it working. I think by it's first or second quarter next year. That's what it looks like to me at the moment. They have also said things like they're trying to push for better repair mechanics and even the refueling mechanics for when Pyro comes in. Obviously, we're getting some level of salvage and repair for, at the moment, 3.15. So, hi, mate, and chat. Have a great stream. I'm off to bed. No worries. What else have we got? I think that Pyro moving... getting Pyro in is going to really help with PvP, because it obviously gives PvP players, whether they be lawful or unlawful, a place to play, higher risk, high reward area, and also they can sort of come out of that, come into Stanton and then retreat back into Pyro with their ill-gotten gains if they are looting in the Stanton system. What else have we got? There's a question in brackets if you'd like to ask a question, so I can more easily pull it out. Papa, can you hear me? Why is... Starlet Dominar, Ghost Reaper, thank you very much for joining. Very much appreciated. Lord Hell. Seeing that some people that are subscribed on the YouTube become YouTube members beyond subscriptions. Thank you. Oh, there's lots going on here. Okay. Where do questions start? Beyond, there's people waiting for me. What are you personally most excited for 3.13? More reasons to play. I think the reputation system might help the game be a bit more playable in the short term. Obviously, you can purchase some more ships like the Mercury Star Runner in game. A lot of people are going to be excited about that. I think that the PTU that I've played at the moment is pretty stable. That we'll see today. Yeah, it's pretty stable. It's been a pretty fun experience. But we're going to be digging into it a bit more next week. There's lots of little bits in 3.13. Cargo working's pretty good. The fact they've fixed something and getting this sort of cargo trade working is pretty fun. Really, I suppose I'm looking forward to Fleet Week end of May. The Nova Tonk. I think it's pretty exciting. Ninetales Lockdown. How do you think the game will be in about 3 years? I think we'll be sort of close to, if not in a beta-esque phase. I think a lot of the gameplay loops will be done. Well, not done. Be into have either their initial implementations in, or have some refined gameplay, some refined iterations there. Certainly going to be bits that aren't done, because I do think we're seeing sort of like a beta to live release in about 5 years. Probably a little bit less than that now. Just because of what sort of scope of Star Citizen, and because Cloud Imperium are very much doing, look, we've got a live alpha product, we can take as much time as we want, and we're just going to keep on updating it every 3 months. Well, yes, you can take as much time as you want, but we still want a released, finished game at some point that we can play. That's the game we were sort of promised. I think that's sort of fair enough, right? Do you guys know if the ship-to-ship docking works while in flight? It works in flight, but it's janky. Really, you want the constellation to come to a stop, but you can do it while it's moving. I suspect they'll improve the while it's moving experience. It's very janky while moving and will snap. When is the RSI Apollo releasing? We don't know. We do not have any details on the RSI Apollo for its release date anyway. Is there oxygen on the ROC? I think the driver might have oxygen, but I don't think the side seat does. I haven't actually double checked. You'd have to quickly switch the oxygen mag. Yeah, it's pretty dumb, eh? When do you think 3.13 will go live? I think they're going to try and push for it by the end of next week, if possible. It'll either be open PTU by the end of next week or live. Could we have some space stations and ground-based fortresses that orgs can fight over, say, in the pyro system? I think that's the sort of mission I'd like to see. I'd like to see King of the Hill, capture and hold. Take this, you get rewarded for the length of time you hold it for. It's sort of like those hot zones. I really love that idea. It gives you reasons to use ground vehicles and stuff as well, because there might be air defences for these things. So yeah, there's not much in the way of major gameplay loops or major features for 3.13. There's a lot of smaller stuff, for sure, and there's some good bits, and there's some start of some important mechanics, some little bits that will lead to us being able to move things more readily, and cargo gameplay, and lots more NPC-based stuff of actually having them spawn and despawn more appropriately, and it's a shame that ship-to-station docking is in the 3.13.x patch, not in this one. There's some good stuff. A lot of it's aesthetic. I did actually quite like the changes to the Gladius. The Gladius is they've made all its external hatches and panels open and have the components in there. So that's sort of like a step towards physicalized components. I think that's that and the Terrapin are getting physicalized components first. ABG absolutely loves Star Citizen. What are your thoughts on getting more realistic engineering into the game? Some features seem a bit gamey. They want them to be a bit gamey. So they want some level of cool and it's immersion and gameplay above everything else. So fun, gaminess, immersion, and then realism. So you have gameplay loops and damage control and stuff associated with certain things, but it's not going to be realistically accurate. Did you see inside Star Citizen where they cover the refueling of Savage? So that was calling all devs. Yes, refueling looks like it's going to be legit. So the refueling gameplay is going to have you. They talked about a Starfarer. And you're basically going to be able to, in the shorter term, the refueling that we're working on at the moment, which will be in our hands in the not-too-distant future, you'll be able to get your Starfarer, you'll be able to put whatever fuel tanks you want on it, you'll be able to put hydrogen fuel or quantum fuel in it, and then you'll be able to go up to people, whether you're responding to a distress signal or just outfitting and loading and giving people fuel. You'll be able to extend your little fuel arm and refuel them with a little UI is the idea there. So that's short-term sort of refueling, and then the greater gameplay loop before that is gas harvest, refinement, then either transport to sell like as cargo, or using that to refuel and outfit other people. So yeah, I'm very much looking forward to refueling. It's an important part of the economy. I'm very much more of an economy player than I am anything else in these sort of games. So part of EVE I enjoyed the most was trade and economy and understanding it all. So that sort of form of industry really excites me. But I think salvage, base building are things that excite me the most, probably. Other than everything just sort of coming together. First tier of salvage we're getting is going to be hull stripping with the multi-tool and repairing in the same way you EV out of your ship and sort of repair the hull. Border cracked up when I saw how small the ship names were. Yeah, they need to tweak some of the ship name stuff. Any news about the Tonk after your last stream? Nope. No new news about the Tonk. We know that it's going to be in a 3.13.x patch. That's about it. What else have we got? News for server meshing. So they've talked a bit about server meshing. We know that iCache and persistent streaming and server meshing is all sort of the same umbrella. And they're putting a load... everything that's being worked on is built with iCache and server meshing in mind. And they're sort of implementing some bits of server meshing and iCache or steps towards that in each patch now. We don't know when we're going to have it in our hands properly, but once they have their first true implementation of server meshing, that should be the same time they release Pyro, and I do expect that to be by the middle of next year, sort of at the latest at the moment. We'll have to wait and see, though. Did CIG explain the plan for implementation of static server meshing? Well, they sort of explained what static server meshing is, which should be the first implementation of server meshing is going to be static server meshing, which is each planet or area of space that they will predefine will be a server, which then seamlessly shares data between the other servers. So you moving between Microtech and New Babbage. What am I talking about? You moving from Microtech to Hurston, moving between those two planets. There could be a server for the planet. There could be a server for the area of space around it. And then you'd be moving between those servers, and you wouldn't notice that you'd move between those servers. And each of those can have a population of 1,000 maybe, or 50, or whatever. In the future, when it becomes dynamic server meshing, the sort of like the end game for it is that technically you could potentially have everyone on the same server, and then even an individual room could be its own server, which will spin up and down based on the population of that area. And they're all nested in each other. So you can have a server and server and a server and a server, and then all those servers interacting and sharing data seamlessly. How is trade? I went to the terminal and could not fill my CAC. I've only had a cursory look at cargo at the moment, but I was able to buy and sell and fill up my Mercury Star Runner and sell. I think I had to sell it in 2 loads. But I was able to buy and sell pretty easily. I wasn't trying to make profit there or anything. So I will do a bit of a deep dive into that because I have only done a cursory look.
Tricksy little hobbitses.
Is ship-to-ship docking going to be ready for other ships this year? Probably not. So, like docking with the Carrack. Oh, okay, so that's a bit different. So that has a landing bay, which they might go, if you request landing to dock, it opens up the docking bay, the landing bay. That's a bit different. Ship-to-ship docking with docking ports, that's going to be coming a while later. So in the 3.13.x patch, we should be getting ship-to-station docking, but ship-to-ship docking beyond the snub fighter docking that we have now in 3.13 with the Constellation and P52 is a little bit more complex. you think that DirectX 12 will improve performance in general? No, because they're moving over to Vulkan. So they're going for a hardware neutral approach. Their Gen 12 renderer uses Vulkan, as far as I'm aware, and they'll be phasing out DirectX 11 in favour of Vulkan in the coming quarters. Yeah, I expect the star systems to go Pyro, Nyx, Odin. Odin is the Squadron 42 system, and they will connect to each other. That is the most likely route that they will go for the next few systems. Steve, I'm thank you very much for the sub, very much appreciated. Are you star? Thank you. Any idea when the star map will get fixed? So they did some fixes for the star map in 3.13. They are overhauling the star map, and I think that's a job that Turbulent have been working on for a little while. They're totally overhauling the star map. Have they given up on NPC behavior? Every patch NPCs still don't work, and they don't even mention the problem anymore. Let's see what happens when 3.13 goes live. There's a lot of work that's going into general NPC behavior and tech, and you'll see a load of that described probably next week in the monthly reports. There are a lot of problems with it not working as intended in the multiplayer environment on the multiplayer servers for the persistent universe. That's largely because of the server problems, sort of like the server tick rates not updating them properly, so they're just dumb. They just go, dup, what am I doing? I have yet to play through a cave mission in the open, in the first wave PTU. But we will be documenting that. Why is the manufacturer UI taking so long? So they're making, obviously, manufacturers UIs for lots of different ships. It's because they have to implement it and other things get priorities, but they are working on a few of them at the moment, I believe. Do you think next year is the year, or next year is the year? There's no next year is the year. There's no silver bullet for Star Citizen. Unfortunately, because of the way, and a double-edged sword in the way that they're sort of pushing it and developing it with the playable alpha, that does additionally lend to a slower development. It's a slow development. There's no this year is Star Citizen. You can, however, go this is the year at some point for Squadron 42 because they'll release a product. In a few years, it will be the year of Star Citizen Beta, and it'll be a lot more mainstream. Bored. Why isn't the Idris released when they have had this Squadron 42 video for 6 years that shows the fleshed out Idris interior? Because just because it works for Squadron 42 or they've developed an area or level effectively does not mean that level is then flyable and pilotable and has reason to be in the persistent universe. Now, we've obviously seen that the Idris is in the PU in the hands of NPCs, and those NPC turrets and stuff work, but they have not yet put in the interior for players, nor have they put the seating in properly so that we can actually take control of them. Yes, people could break into them and take control of them in creative ways, and I do think that's something to be said for, well, they could probably get these ships in game now. But I think it's the sort of thing that they'll waiting for server tech to be a little bit better, get the Gen 12 renderer stuff in there as well, so they can have a bit more going on screen and have very pretty battles going on that don't cause everyone to implode. Because when you've got the Idris, you're going to need quite a few people to run that Idris, and what, you get 2 Idrises on a server, and that's what, 50 people at the moment. I mean, so they need to bolster up the server limits. How many of the flight-ready ships in the game at the moment do you think will need to get a rework? Very few. With the flight-ready ones, all the ships will have lighting updates, materials updates, and be brought up to the standard as they progress in balance and stuff. That's true of all ships. See very few ships getting an overhaul. What else have we got here? Do you have any idea when Wave 2 PT will start? Probably Tuesday would be my expectation. I'd expect either open Wave or open PTU or live by the end of next week based on how that PTU goes. My main issue is the jankiness in-game. Animations, FPS, combat, interactions. Do you believe that server meshing, iCache, client-server rework will fix it? Yes. Like, that is what that does. I mean, the issues are that the server code is poor and there's a load of artificial delay introduced into the models. They need to have a nice refined netcode and stable tick-rated servers. I mean, they're going for 30 ticks, but I mean, I think 60 ticks is better, full stop. But so hopefully one day they go, well, we can get 60 ticks, and we can get them stably. That would be great. But 30 ticks would work fine for what they want, but they need it stable. And then, yeah, they need a more refined, lightweight code, which they are building, and they need server meshing, they need iCache and all that sort of jazz in there as well, so it can handle the giant universe and persistent data and these big fights going on. But is that the biggest worry that you should have for the game? Probably yes. Will server meshing work as intended? Will they be able to solve in a relatively timely manner, their netcode issues? CPU seems to be the biggest blockage for people, really? I think, yeah, actually, for some CPUs, they're 100%, isn't it? There's lots of CPU thread lock problems that they've had. So, Invictus Fleet Week is at the end of May, indeed. 400i, will it be compete in its bracket? Do you think we'll see it? So, for people that don't know, there was a Origin 404 April Fool's, which was, we've got a ship, and we've made it invisible. And the April Fool's is that we made an invisibility ship. So we just made it invisible. It was a joke thing they did. Cool. However, the model they used for it, which was then made invisible because they actually had like cargo in this, like just floating around, and a pilot floating around, and people inside just hanging around in a ship, was either the Constellation or the 400i, which we have yet to properly see in game. So it's possible, and very likely, I think, that we will see a 400i ship in the relatively near future. Is there any idea yet when the manufacturer HUD will arrive? Talked about that earlier. Yeah, so it's at 3.15. They've got mines and bombs. So I think we'll see minefields and mines as part of missions and things in 3.15. Well, that's the current plan. Obviously, bombs are going to be for the A2. Maybe some other ships will be able to also outfit bombs rather than just missiles or torps. And maybe the Hercules A2 and some other ships will be able to deploy mines as well. Or maybe they'll even make a little mine layer. Any further info on salvage progress? Not really, beyond we know it's currently planned for 3.15. There was a little bit of information in Calling All Devs, but basically salvage repair are coming intertwined in the first iteration of salvage, and it's going to be with a multi-tool, and there's also going to be a dedicated salvage tool, but it's FPS salvage, strip a hull, and then in a canister you get like the canister of the hully goodness, which you can then EVA out of your ship and repair your hull with, or sell the canisters. Or buy the canisters. Okay, it's Star Citizen, and I was wondering if they ever fix the refueling your ship with the Grey Cat rock on board. I have not tried in 3.13. I would assume that's fixed, but I'm not sure. If you get too far away from your colony, will it despawn? If it's close to an area that will clear it up, so if you're near a really close to a station or a landing pad or whatever, it will get cleaned up. Any news on Theatres of War? We know they're working on it. We know Firesprite are working on it as well. There's a CIG team and a Firesprite team. Firesprite, 10 people. CIG team, I'm not sure how big that actually is. Are working on Theatres of War now. They just had some tests recently, which went relatively well, but they were evocati. I expect to see a more public viewing of Theatres of War probably during the 3.14 patch cycle. So no new news. That's just not I reckon. What else have we got here? I honestly thought the salvage was going to be on the Reclaimer and not a hand tool. There is going to be salvage on the Reclaimer in the future. That is true. And that will be the claw, rip and tear more salvage. Well, crush ships into cubes. However, it looks like the first implementation of Tier 0 salvage that's planned for 3.15 is going to be hand-based salvage. And then we'll probably get hull stripping after that with something like the Vulture. That would be my expectation at the moment. Trip Rodriguez, thank you very much for the raid. Very much appreciated, sir. Don't normally stream on Saturdays. I appreciate the raid. Thank you. Hope you are well. I hope you had a good stream. When do you think we'll see Chris Roberts? Yeah, so I'm a little bit disappointed we're not regularly seeing Chris. Now, that could be a little bit due to lockdown and COVID, and anything they do with Chris would have to be done on webcam, which he probably says, like, no, has to be done perfectly with the best cameras, or something like that. Or maybe it's because he's doing more directive stuff and doesn't want to appear on camera so much, maybe. But I do think we should see Chris at least once a quarter. Yeah? That's what I'd like to see. Obviously, we'll see him occasionally in videos and special videos. We'll see him in things like CitizenCon. We are hoping to see a CitizenCon this year, even if it's just a virtual event. I think that Cloud Imperium have confirmed yet, though. Any idea of when Squadron 42 or new planetary systems are planned to be implemented? Squadron 42, not before 2022, because we can see what going into 2022 for Squadron. Hopefully it will be out by the end of 2022. New planetary systems, we know that Pyro is going to be the next system they've got in-game, and they are working on more than that. Obviously the Odin system, which you can see here. There's Nyx as well that they're doing, and they sort of all line up that you can travel between Stanton to Odin via. But Odin's going to be the next one. We know that that's not in the not too distant future, but we don't have a date on it yet. It is actively being worked on. Uh, 400i in 3.13, yes, no, maybe. It's something that could turn up maybe at Fleet Week or something, but don't know. White Wolf, I'm sorry that you found a spider and then it's disappeared. I am terrified of spiders. Hi, Bored. Do I get concierge services after I spend $1,000, including VAT or excluding VAT? I think it's including VAT. I would expect it's including VAT, and it's the actual cash spent on your account. We would need to double check that, but I'm pretty sure it's VAT. Do you roleplay in Star Citizen? Not really. I mess around and do silly voices. Will bear helmets become the primary helmets in the future? I don't. Although FPS did take a hit for some, it still looked better than in live. Did you notice any graphical enhancements for clouds? For me, we noticed some of the textures and levels of detail of planets, and some of the assets were different, for sure. Frame rate wise, after I had loaded into the game, then logged out entirely and reloaded in game, I noticed severe improvements to my frame rate. When I first logged in, when it was like building the shaders, I was like, my frame rate is single digit. When I loaded back in, it was sort of 40 to 60, sort of moved between. Weather really rinses your CPU though. Bored. PvP is not a group of people you just put in the corner. Pyro. You can't just push them to a specific location and call it quits. These guys are going to play the game like everyone else. What you're saying is no different than talking about Grim being a solution to PvP years ago. No, I'm not saying that at all. That's not what I said. I want some areas to be safer than others. I want some areas, like the Pyro system, to be high risk and high reward. You can't have PvPers just running rampant in cities. That's ridiculous. You need heavy restrictions on them doing that. And what do I mean by restrictions? Well, you want security and defense and prison and laws and all this sort of stuff. You don't want... but you want to reward really clever PvPers, so some stuff can happen occasionally if done really well and planned really well. But you don't want anarchy in every system. That's just mad. It is a game where PvP exists and should be able to exist in all the systems. And I think Stanton is a good example, because Stanton should have PvP and it should be doable in Stanton, and because there are pirates there as well. And you want to have both sides, the lawful bounty hunter PvP and the sort of pirate PvP. You sort of, in Stanton, it's not fully secure. There's private security. It works. You want that PvP to exist, and then somewhere for the PvPers to go afterwards. They can go to Pyro, or they can go to Grimhex, or whatever. You need a balance there. You can't just say, well, you're putting them in the corner, or whatever. Well, yeah, you're restricting some of what unlawful players can do. They can't just walk around around Microtech and Hurston. Once they're discovered, they're going to get put in prison. That seems fair enough. You don't want anarchy. But I do want them to exist. I think that's important. So PvP is an important part of the game to me, and helps drive the economy, helps drive people's reasons to do stuff. Big org wars in the future, really looking forward to. But I don't want it to just be everywhere. And I want people that are mining in a prospector in a safer area. They're not going to make as much profit if they were mining in Pyro or sort of like a really profitable area, which is much higher risk. But how is that mitigated and how's that changed? Well, they hire escorts and that sort of stuff. So I'm not shying away from PvP. I'm just talking about the realities of what would make it work and what is sensible. What else have we got? Why are you so amazing? Stay amazing. Nice. Bay, appreciate the love. Sorry if it meant if I go down to a planet and my snub, will the Connie despawn before I get back to dock? It should stay there fine. It should stay there. If you log out or anything, it will have gone. Should be happily there. Don't want to do PvP, join an org. Yeah, so the problem is at the moment, obviously, lots of stuff's in testing, and they're sort of like trying to bodge fix PvP. That's what it is. So PvP is in-game and enabled, and should be. Yeah, but there's not enough gameplay for PvPers, both lawful and criminal, and there's not enough systems in-game to support the criminal side of things for the justice system and law system properly. Yeah? But the game is alpha. There's 90% of the components of the game are not fully supported properly yet. What do you think the chances of getting refueling in the time for Pyro are? Depends when they release Pyro, doesn't it? They said that was their plan, though. When is poop gameplay coming? We're thinking that hygiene-based player status system gameplay is going to be probably at some point this year. If that's shower, poop, and pee-pee, then don't expect to see anything. Will the F8C once out make the F7C redundant? What? So the F8 is a heavy fighter, and the F7 is a medium fighter, and they are suited for different roles and ranges and different combat. That's the sort of idea. I would prefer an F8 than an F7. There's not enough gameplay, period. PvPers should not be treated special. Yeah, but nor should they be terribly discriminated against. So I'm not going to tar all PvPers as griefers. That doesn't make sense either. Right. Let's bring this over here. I'm going to load into 3.13 and we'll have a little bit look, because I wanted to talk about, very briefly at least, the ROC DS. Let's see if I can actually keep up the chat appropriately. Because I might not. Who knows? I'm quite bad at this. If you haven't already seen. Bam. Boop. You gonna show my Star Citizen? Yeah. Perfect. Is it gonna put me in prison? As I got. So. Yesterday, I was flying around with the Constellation, testing out lots of different docking and undocking stuff, and me and Sin were flying around trying to do some gameplay and checking out some of the sort of planetary detail stuff, and Zin glitched out of my Constellation, so she put up a service beacon. I flew to her and started flying at her, and she was like, "You know," I started flying quite fast, and I was like, "I don't want to fly too fast near you because I'll kill you. I'm worried about that." And she went, "You're nowhere near me." So I okay. So and it was like 3 seconds later, I spin, and thrust and swat her with my tail, killing her. And she went, "Oh, I'm dead." And I was like, "Yes, I told you." He just said. He should have said. I was close because I couldn't see her, but the impact of her on my ship flashed red, and then I got a criminal rating. It serves alright though, you know. Not sure why it serves alright. I want an F8C so bad. So when you get to a certain stage in Squadron 42, you should be able to have access to either buy one or use one in some way in the persistent universe. That's the plan. You'll be able to get it. You'll be able to get it in game at some point. You don't have to spend billions of dollars or anything to get one. Do you think the clothes merchandise needs a revamp or more selection? More selection. I'm fine with Cloud Imperium making their own merch and stuff. I wish they had a bit more selection. Boop. So I'm in Grimhex. Ah. Little Grimmy boy. I can work with this. Yeah, I saw that there was some issues with the sign distance field tech. So the prediction or the speed of your ship can outpace the shields, which is pretty dumb. Yeah, so the ROC DS is using parts of the Nintendo DS. A little flip screen. No? Okay. Thanks, elevator. Am I forever stuck in Grimhex in this patch? Come on. Come on. Take me through. Thank you. Oh no. So this is my life now. Oh, is Go still jank? Do I have to go? No, I have to wait here until someone opens the door. We have to go out the bottom and fly around. Thanks, game. So those are the sort of bugs that need to be fixed. Oh, you're actually going to spawn me on Houston? No, you lied. You lied to me, game. Game just lie. Yeah, I thought they fixed that as well. Unfortunately, they did not. This is from making one of those positive Starset videos. I think you'll find I report on the Starset's news and play the game and enjoy it. But I'm also very aware that Star Citizen has its problems. It's very much alpha. It is very buggy. It's sometimes a hellish experience to create content for. Am I going the right way? I haven't been outside in Grimhex for ages. Oh god. Oh god. Oh god. No, we're good. We're good. We're good. No, no, we're good. It's okay, now it's just me trying to find my way. Oh no. Oh god. Oh god. Left door. And we're out. No, no, out, no, out. Good, that's fine. We didn't need any of our brain functions, so it's all good. I have not been to Grimhex. Actually, I was at Grimhex yesterday. It's a lie. I haven't operated out of Grimhex for a while. Am I even going the right way? It's above here. Just here, isn't it? It's my... I can't remember face. Yeah, we're good. We're good. We're good. Can't wait to be an escort pilot. Yeah. So I think it's so important they get the PvP right. Oh god. Well. Oh hi. I do not want. No. Oh god. GG. GG. Ow. We're good. I was trying to land more vertically than I did there. Spawn a ship. With the advanced and with the attractor beam, do you think they'll make an advanced mining gun with the ability to extract a rucksack, like in Luigi's Mansion? A ghost sucking one. I mean, there's going to be bigger versions of the tractor beam tool and the salvage tool. So. Let's grab. Let's grab a constellation quick, actually. No? No, not playing that. Let's grab. Because I've not actually tested it on the Aquila. What are the main differences between the P52 and the P72? So the P72 is the more luxury version. The P52 has an integrated gun on it, and the P72 does not have the integrated one, so it has more choice in its weapons, question mark? I can't actually remember. I know the P-52's got the little cannon on it. Oh, hang on, 9. See, I'm bad at concentrating on more than one thing. I feel a little sick now, I know, right? I was banging around a little bit too much. Yeah, I love the Mercury Star, and I think it's a fantastic ship. What kind of different prices can we expect in the new systems? What do you mean? So that obviously trade and values of stuff's going to be dynamically driven. So they'll vastly differ where you are and what system. And that will be player influenced, but the game is a simulated economy, so there's going to be consumption of resources to create other items, and the NPCs will both fill orders but also consume them. So the asteroids, the new asteroids, are largely around Lagrange points, and those points of interest. So Yella and around Grimhex has not seen the updates to the asteroids.
Welcome to Robotic Space Industries. Enjoy the work. System check. You are clear to launch.
Can you talk about Star Citizen without saying it's going to be? It depends what the question is. So with that question, no, because it's in the question. What do you want from me? Intrigued about the refueling aspect. It would be interesting to go to a system with barely any stations. So Pyro is for you then. It's going to have very minimal stations. Should we go to... Oh, what even is... The research outpost, or is it mining area? The mining area that has a spawn point on it. Vehicles. I assume it's there. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, they fixed the map, didn't they? So the star map's fixed. That annoys me. I do want the star map fixed. So some of the core mechanics with why am I forever turning? What am I doing? I'm going here. I don't know why I turned forever there. Forgot what I was doing. Is this a new 3.13 PTU patch? This is the original 3.13 Wave 1 patch. Any patch we have for 3.13 at the moment? Oh, where am I going? Quantum travel works much more effectively now when you're close to a target. So hopefully this won't ram me into the planet. But hopefully it will work. That'd be useful. You've still got some of the same old bugs. Which is not ideal. Doesn't seem to want to actually let me once it's that point, so I'm gonna have to reset it. No, we're good. Set it I need to do a video while I called some of my ships why I called them. Okay, yeah, that's a good point. So the Aquila is the exploration version of the constellations. We are going to show off a little tiny bit of the docking undocking, and then I'll mess around briefly in the ROC DS, because a lot of people have asked about it. But the ROC DS is one of the more pointless vehicles in my opinion. I do not, at the moment at least, it does not have much use in my opinion. I'd rather go for 2 ROCs, and it just sort of, no, I genuinely thought it was an April Fool's to start with. So with the your little P52 stamp in, you go in, yeah, you flight ready it, and then you just press N when you want to detach. So if I go here, have a look out here, N, just pop out the back. Yeah, now, oh, that's not ideal. I was pointing, oh, we're good. No, wait, ooh. Oh, my mouse needs to level. So you see how janky the ship is, yeah? The jankiness at the moment is not ideal. Okay, now, you see the janky and it's just stationary. Now imagine trying to dock when that's moving, yeah? So, to actually dock with this constellation, all I need to do is target it, yeah? And I come close to it. I press N.
Request to dock.
And it will request to dock. Now, I can manually dock by getting close to where, like, I popped out from that port there, yeah? But remember, it's janky, and if I get clipped by it, I could explode or go run off into the sunset. I can align these dots, or what I can do, and I think most people would do, is you just get quite close and hold N, and then it just docks for you. So why wouldn't you do that? Well, maybe because you want to do it quicker in the future or something. You're a slick pilot. But at the moment, mega janky. Was not this janky when I filmed it the other day, as you can see from some of my videos, but that's it. Come on. Yes. Then if I just want to undock again, it's really easy. Just bam. Bam. It just undocks, but it's just janky, so they need to solve that. Now, there are lots of problems with Star Citizen's netcode that they need to solve, and the servers, and the prediction. They are working on a lot of that, but you know. Actually, we could just leave. We can just leave that there. Can I cancel that? Let's look away to cancel. Okay. Where is? Thinking maybe I should fly to the mining outpost myself, but because I can't quantum to it, I can't really find it very well. Where is the mining outpost? Can anyone see it? Is it there? Is it there? I think the idea of snubs is that obviously they can give you a bit of an edge in combat. Yeah, I think it might just be there. Maybe question mark. We assume it's here. Or am I just flying towards a snowy crater? Oh god. Oh god. Oh god. No, we're good. Good. For some reason I thought it was just here. I might have to go back to the Connie. Because I'm dumb. I don't know where I think the idea is that obviously they give you a bit of an edge in combat, but also will allow you to easily go down to a planet and just find something you want to interact with, go to a little station or whatever. Obviously, it's quite hard to find stuff at the moment, but I don't know exactly where it is.
Major system issues.
So you can't just dock with anyone's constellation. So if it's not your constellation, you'll have to request, when you request docking by pressing N, they'll have to OK it. So you can technically dock with anyone's constellation, but only if they allow. What's your problem with copying the PTU? Error occurred queuing your account for copy. I just wait. If you've tried to delete it, then copy it. Maybe that's an issue. Just give them a little bit of time. There might be a lot of people trying to copy it. Yeah, I'm sorry that I'm dumb. I don't know where the... I have to find the outpost very easily in a snub. An outpost that I haven't been to much before. Oh...
Request to dock activated. Request to dock activated. Auto docking activated.
Easy. Nice and easy, eh? Janky, janky. So that needs to be solved for sure. No, you can't use mark it because it doesn't have quantum drive. Can't mark it properly. We need to be able to mark locations with coordinate systems and things like that, and easily find stuff. That is so needed in Star Citizen, but so are a billion other things. Well, one day I'll get into that ship. Look how janky it is. It's not letting me work. Come on. Let me dock. No, come on. I think I might just be forever stuck in this loop. I've got my guns. I just had to shoot my ship once, apparently.
Engaged.
It was janktastic. But those are the sort of things that obviously need to be solved before a live build. You don't want to get into your not docking circle. Pretty rough, eh? So, if in some situations you can recover your cargo from a 30k. What I mean by that is that if you get back into the same server because of an ungraceful disconnect, you'll spawn back where you were in your ship. Obviously, if the server's crashed, that's a little different, isn't it? And there is no way yet for you to recover from that, other than crying. I was flying towards it. I was pretty close to it as well. No, it didn't crash. It was just janktastic. We were able to scan things like No Man's Sky. So there's different types of scanners and there's different types of things going on. So you can scan stuff a bit at the moment in ships. The medical tool will allow you to scan a variety of different medical-based ailments and things on people. There might be science tools. There's obviously the mining tool, which scans the mining nodes at the moment as well. So yes. So iCache is being built into lots of different systems now, and everything for Star Citizen is being built with that in mind and server meshing in mind. So you'll see lots of bits of the optimization for server meshing and iCache coming online now even. but there will be a stage where they sort of turn it all on in a more proper way. It's like fully implemented. I have not come to... Is this the one I wanted to come to? The reason I couldn't see it is because I was looking for a landing pad, and there's not one here. That's because I've come to the wrong place. It is research outpost, then. And there was even minables there. It mocks me. Are you just going to kill me, or are you going to do a proper quantum? Oh! So quantum apparently works much more effectively now. Great. Okay, so I didn't go through the planet. It didn't say blocked. It allowed me to literally go to the other side of the planet by pointing at the thing through the planet and going there. So one of the tests I always do when we have a thing. So there are caves on a lot of the planets now. On Monday, me and Zin are doing the bounty hunter gameplay loops in the new caves. You got 70 plus frames in the PU. Monstrous. Such frames do not exist in Star Citizen. Okay, that's pretty impressive. Salvage is not in the game yet, no. Planned for, at the moment, 3.15, the sort of end of September, mid-October patch. I just want to have a quick look at the ROC DS. Why don't we have a compass in Star Citizen? It's not just a compass I want. The ability to mark locations and travel there, or just mark locations and have waypoints. That's good enough for me. Oh. And no one said I was good at Star Citizen. Right. Got a crime stat, unfortunately, from swatting Zin off my ship yesterday. And I haven't yet done my time. Come on. Come on. Come on. No. No. Thank you. So we're going to spawn a ROC DS. I might have to reclaim one. So a lot. I mean, I feel like I'm going to regret saying this. The current PTU is pretty stable. The frame rate isn't awful either. It was awful when I first loaded it, but whilst I reloaded it, it was great. I mean, obviously that was yesterday. No, a couple of days ago. Oh, over 30k or something. It's just taking a long time. Server dying. I don't want to be forever stuck in the airlock. Okay? Okay. I knew I'd regret saying that it seemed stable. I knew that literally as I said that, a 30k would happen. You are though. Can we see it in the... Oh, proper bad tokens, bear with me. I know what I'll do. I know what I'll do. You can have a look. I need to check on something. What you like this? Au-dessus de son. Where were we when we were messing around with this? Here? Yes. So what I'll do is I will show you. This quickly. Well, I quickly buy it. So this was shot yesterday. This is... We do here. Oh god, I can't even remember. That's the ROC DS. So basically what's going on is that the ROC DS, I think, is pretty dumb, okay? Because got the all-enclosed cab for the driver, yeah? And then, but you don't control the laser, yeah? The person in the side chair controls the laser, or if you get out and control it, yeah? And it can only... sort of, at the moment, anyway. Let's get some sick air. These are stealth rocks as well. Okay, you can just hide in them. Okay, you can just entirely hide in them. Yeah. This is the ROC DS. It is not buyable at the moment. It's not buyable in game. It's not buyable on the store. It was a surprise addition to 3.13. Now, I'm in a little enclosed cab. My friend here's in. She's not in an enclosed cab. She is in an articulated laser that only she can control. Okay, so I did quite enjoy the way it drives on high gravity sort of areas. Are we on Magda? I think we're on Magda here. So the gravity's not particularly high. But it can only mine the same nodes that a ROC can mine. And at the moment, anyway. And so this is me testing out the stealth ROCs. But yeah, I just thought it was kind of... yeah, I just don't like it. I just don't like it. I don't see the need for it. I don't see the reason for it. If I was going to... It's got 2 SCU rather than 0.8 SCU. Yeah, so it's over 2 times the SCU. Well, it's 2.5 times the SCU of a ROC. Okay, that's cool. I've got to go out to use the turret if it's just me. And I can mine twice as fast if I've got 2 ROCs. So I thought it was an April Fool's, but this is me using it. This is a video of me using yesterday because we just crashed in game. And it's but it just, yeah. I mean, it can scan down larger nodes, and I was like, actually, if this can mine proper ROCs and then aid in searching and fracturing, great. Yeah, maybe there are going to be larger gem nodes that require a more powerful laser. Yeah? But it felt to me like this was an April Fool's. And you think it looks cute? Okay, well that's... Maybe if we can change the lasers and stuff on it. Maybe if it can have a gravity tool. Maybe if it can have lots of different tools that actually make it functional and useful. It's just not... I like the ROC more. I like the idea of 2 ROCs more. It's just a bit dumb, in my opinion. But, you know, I quite like the way it drives. I kind of like the way it looks, admittedly. I just don't understand it. Yeah, the sidecars doesn't even have shelter. It's going to have bugs in their teeth. Like, yeah, I've got oxygen in my little shelter. It's not... Occasionally you just have to run into here to get oxygen. It's just a bit mad, eh? Yeah, and maybe there's more to this vehicle that we don't know yet. That's it, because it is not available in the shops. They have not given us any details of it. Not much is known about it. It's available for some content creators to use, potentially some of the card as well, on the first wave PTU, but instructions not given. So this was Zin saying, no, I'll be able to mine this. And I was like, nope, you cannot mine. You cannot mine this ROC. It is too big. It is a proper mining ROC. Yeah, I like the 6-wheel chassis. I like that. And I like the idea of having a utility arm that maybe can be used for multiple things. If it had a high power laser, maybe. If it allows for tractor beams and salvage and all that sort of stuff, yeah, maybe. If it allows for... And it might. That might be what the ROC DS allows you to do. It might be a utility mounted... It can do a bit of anything. And maybe it's also might even allow you in the future to mine the larger... nodes, or maybe there's going to be much larger gem nodes which are hard to mine that it requires. Should you have 2 lasers? Yeah, that would make a lot. It would make a cool lot of sense if you had a driver laser and a sidecar, or maybe it is supposed to be a bigger laser than the normal ROC, and maybe it is supposed to be really moddable. There's just so much we don't know yet, but that is me being very kind to it. Yeah, I thought people would want to know a bit about the ROC DS. As I find out more, I will share more. But yeah, sort of a surprise release. Weird that they haven't started selling it yet, but I suppose they're waiting for 3.13 to go live. So I was typing on the phone, you could, with a second seat, have an on-foot security officer. Making sure that no one steals the loot from the back. I'll give you an idea. How about you make the access point to the cargo out the front of the shot, or the side, not the back. Or if people approach the back, it makes a beep beep sound. Yeah? Look at that. But ROC stands for remote ore collector. Yeah. That's the other thing, isn't it? It's not a utility vehicle. However, it could be they certainly could sell it as it's still the ROC you know and love, and it can still remote ore collect. However, we've also expanded the ROC to also have a utility point. Yes, you are right. ROC does stand for remote ore collector. Bigger laser would have been nice, yeah. The ability to mine the ship mining nodes might have been nice. Perhaps we'll understand more once it's announced. Yes. Yeah, fair point. Let me put the music back on. So I could get a stronger laser, but still, why does that require an extra person? It's just a bigger version, yeah. So maybe there's a lot we don't know yet. I think that's what it is. Well, the reason the two-seater ROC is good is because you don't have to flip back and forth between scanning, and you can do it faster. I just think there's more money to be made in 2 ROCs, right? Or 2 prospectors. But that's, I mean, you can disagree with me, and as I said, there's a lot we don't know yet. So, the mole is viable, yeah. I mean, it's going to be more viable the more they balance it and get it sort of into a good place, and we have a dynamic economy that supports it. Mercury Star Run doesn't need the docking collar necessarily. It can obviously land a lot of places. We do need its secondary escape / entry point. That would be good. And they have said that they want to have a like escape hatch ladder thing. Isn't the ROC DS a rip-off of SRV and Elite Dangerous? I haven't seen that, but lots of things look similar in space games, for sure. So the ROC DS is not viable in game yet, and it's not viable on the RSI store yet. So Zin's doing some Law series stuff. The standoff at Hador, the Xi'an and the long-range military satellite and all that sort of stuff. I do want to cover that stuff. I'm in the future. I'm going to be covering anything that happens in game as much as possible as the news. Some of it I will cover in game, if you see what I mean. And any relevant lore that helps you play the game, I want to cover. Zin's sort of exploring the lore at her own pace at the moment and doing some videos on that. Yeah, so it feels to me at the moment there's no reason for that second seat. Just a larger ROC might have been a sensible idea. But giving the ROC another seat and then has to be controlled by that person, it's just weird, right? Probably down to the microwave for 30k. I knew that as soon as I said that I was going to 30k that server. Is everyone enjoying their Origin 404s? There's just loads of them, mate, constantly around me in the game all the time. So yeah, expect 3.13 either open PTU by the end of the week or potentially pushing towards live build. It is going to genuinely be dependent, however, on what happens during the patch. Are there some major blockers and problems? Me and Zin will be covering a load of gameplay, so cave missions, some of them are pretty cool, and the reputation system, looking at all the gameplay loops that we already have in game, making sure that they work properly and how they work, are they viable, that sort of stuff. Is the plan for next week. Some actual juicy content from the gameplay points, but you'll see some patch notes and other stuff like that as well as we get a couple more patches for the first wave PTU before it goes further, I would expect. And you might see it go open up to a slightly wider audience as early as Tuesday. Right. It is Easter weekend, so we will try and get a couple of videos out, well, at least one video out later today. I want to cover the repair and salvage and thingamajig, salvage and refueling. calling all devs, because I think there was some quite juicy information in there. Do a bit of summary of that, put it a bit more context. And I want to get out a news video just covering what happened throughout the week. Yeah, start on more meaty content on Monday, for sure. I need to reset my account potentially, or just go to prison and clear my crime rating. That's annoying. But yes, I am going to dash off because it's Easter weekend and I want to check on my family, and it is getting relatively close for dinner for us. But I hope everyone else is having a nice Easter weekend. Thank you very much for joining me for a quick little stream. We will be streaming again probably on Monday or Tuesday. It is sort of Easter bank holiday weekend still, so bored, isn't it? Both dumb and annoying when people ask you about personal how should I live my life type questions. No, people can do that. What should I do to make my life better with people who do that to me? What? Oh, I see. It's going to be okay. People can ask any questions they want. I'll try and answer. Just live your life better. Always know that you can improve. Always know that you're never your best, and that's okay. It's okay to fail, and it's okay to try. Don't worry. It's always good. If you feel terrible, you're probably going to feel better in the future. So don't worry. Try not to worry. That's coming from someone that has severe anxiety and is bipolar. So, but I appreciate the love. Thank you so much. I hope everyone has a great Easter weekend. I am going to find someone to restream. And me on the PTU for thanks. No worries, I will do. Can you message me on Discord? And I actually will add you. It's not. I'll give Morph some love. Morphologist is streaming. He's playing Sim at 3.13. So give the boy some love. Very, very, very pretty shot streamer. Gets very good videos. He's also pretty himself, why not? It does some great videos for Star Citizen. Probably the person I draw the most inspiration from when it goes to... I wish I could make stuff look pretty like that, but I'm pretty lazy, so... I don't have the vision that he has. But thank you very much for joining me today. Very much appreciated. Love you loads. Have a great Easter weekend, and... Peace.